Welcome back, folks. It turns out I had to put the plow on a little sooner than I thought. I just did a short about hanging the plow on, and I figured I'd do a longer video because I know how much everybody loves to hear me yammer on about three-wheelers. But anyway, the other night I put that video up, and I mentioned that I added these plates onto the plow frame, and I forgot to mention that I get around a better angle here. This pin was always the thing would get really violently bouncing because I don't plow at 3 miles an hour. I plow like I want to get done, and this pin would always fall out. So now I chained it, but as I'm sitting here looking at it and thinking about it, if the plow's down, chances are it's going to grab the front tire and get sucked under. So we just discovered that together. I might have to put a safety catch on there or something, but I'll figure that out later. And this thing also was making a little ticking last time I used it outside in the yard. You see in there how clean all that is. I just wiped that off and adjusted the exhaust valve because there's no way you're getting to the intake valve. And I didn't really bother taking time to take any pictures or video of that because I'm a one-man show and it's hard to film videos and actually perform the job. And I don't want to hear 30 different ways of how I did it wrong. I did what I know works, and it actually, if it'll start, it actually don't sound too bad. So the valve's adjusted and there's no clinking and ticking and whatnot. Snow plow's on. Everything's ready to go. Probably gonna let the snow plow off of that one for a little while longer. I still got some wood to cut up and haul over to the pile, but I do have the plow there standing at the ready. And this one is a Cycle Country plow. See, it's round, a little different shape on the shark fin there. And it's a little narrower. I forget what this is. I think it's a 46. The other one here behind me is a 48. This one's made by Cycle Country. Real easy to tell. Cycle Country's are round. CMP, Cambridge Metals and Plastics, CMP. They made the gun scabbards and the stump guards and all kind of accessories, toolboxes and such. And same as Cycle Country, they just kind of don't do as much anymore. And that's the major differences that you can spot. Now, obviously, if you saw a plow frame that looked like a big horseshoe like that, you'd be wondering what it was for. And I did do a real in-depth video on the differences in the bracketry. I laid everything out and whatnot. But just a quick run through, because that video is about a year old, so maybe some of the new people ain't seen that. It's just a steel bracket there that goes up under the foot peg bolt there. And let me see if this will do it. Hey, there we go. And this is a nice solid bracket. I actually like this. It's a little different for this Cycle Country or CMP plow. The bracket on the 84 is a little goofy. This bracket is nice and solid for a CMP plow, but for a Cycle Country plow, it's just two pieces that go under the foot peg bolts. Now, if you'll notice, a little side note, the foot peg bolts are not red. So that means that this thing has not been professionally restored. It is only a survivor. Those red foot peg bolts clearly are the mark of excellence and should be regarded as such. Now, this model doesn't have a chain, but if it had a chain, it should have a red chain too. That's also the mark of excellence and quality in the world of restoration on ATVs. But enough about that. The bracket here, big piece, and then up front it's just a little tab, goes on the engine mount. You can use all the existing bolts. Now this one does space the bolt out a little bit, so you can't go cranking on it because you're about 2.5, 3 threads less into the frame, which there's enough. If you want to go to the hardware store, get a longer bolt, you can. Now this one, I'll explain what I mean. This one is for the Cycle Country, but the CMP looks about the same. It's a little thinner, a little more spindly, not quite as much meat there. And I'd prefer it be a little beefier, but I've run into some snow banks and really put a heck of a shock through it, and they seem to hold up well. So, I mean, and it's not cheaply built. I understand it is a novelty, but you can go out and push 4 to 6 inches of loose powder pretty easy. If you start trying to push heavy stuff, your two-wheel drive's going to show up. It just ain't going to push. So it's almost to the point where the plow will handle anything that the traction can give it. You start losing traction, the plow may not handle that, but I'm also not going to be the one to go you know, third gear pin and slam into a snowbank. I don't intend on doing that, but this one I also modified slightly so I get higher lift. I kind of rebuilt all that. That was only about there, right, 2 inches, 3 inches long, and I'd I don't know, 7, 8. Now the problem is it pulls really hard, but I lengthened the handle to give you a little more leverage. This thing rusted and I kind of cut it all up and re-welded it. But now you have probably almost 10 inches of blade lift, whereas on that one you're lucky to have the blade 4 inches off the ground. And this one here's a kind of a poor job of how I lengthened that one. I changed where it pulled from. It used to pull from here, so it pulls a little lower now, and it's longer. So the distance center line here to there pulls longer. And you still get about 4 inches of blade lift out of it. And the problem is, as soon as you lift the blade up, well, these forks are tight. That ain't a problem on the 200 ES, but as soon as you hit the blade, you have all this suspension movement. So when it gets to bouncing, it's pretty wild ride. But that's where we're at for the winter season. I don't think I have anything fun or exciting planned, but I'll be sure and get those plowing videos out because people want to see them. There is a couple posted already from previous years, but I know we all love fresh new material. We'll see you later.